and welcome to what I believe is the 5th episode of JTB Sports. We did not do a normal podcast last time. We just did a kind of a highlights video from our trip to seeing the Vikings versus Browns. But now we're back into the normal full swing of things, and let's go with Week 5. Starting off Week 5, we have the Rams at the Seahawks. So I didn't really see any of this game because I was working that night, but I know that neither team really played that well. And Russell Wilson got hurt, and they had to bring back the old legend, Geno Smith.
Yeah, I mean, the Seahawks are done. They were my prediction to win the division this year, but that's obviously out the window.
That's
I
what you
think
get. That's what you get for doing the safe bet.
you were right. You called it from the beginning, Thomas. Just one more point about this. The Rams still look really good, and I'm really impressed with Stafford still, but they have regressed a little bit from that big boom of an opening right out of the gates. But I think they'll still win the division now.
Yeah, after Wilson going down, I think Seattle is definitely screwed. They're not going to get anywhere with Geno, and their defense is just so bad. It's probably honestly a good thing long term because I think the Pete Carroll era should probably be over with by the end of the season in Seattle.
Damn, that's harsh.
Because I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I'm not saying I disagree with you, but
Because I don't know, like there was rumors this past off season of trading Russell Wilson, like maybe he'd go to get traded to Chicago or something like that. But obviously that then never came through fruition. But yeah, I don't know. I think Carroll's probably done after this year. I think Seattle just needs a new fresh start. So yeah.
see, I already said I wasn't going to take the safe bet, but part of me is happy that Seattle almost guarantee that Seattle's not winning the division, because if Seattle is not taking up one of the playoff slots, I'm perfectly okay with that, because it's just been Seattle in the playoffs for the past how many, 10, almost 9, 10 years now? And I guess that's not a bad thing, but kind of like the Patriots in the 2000s, it's just like you kind of want to see somebody else in there. And I would certainly love to see the Cardinals there. Or literally any other team that isn't in the playoffs every year, like the Seahawks.
You know what? Yeah, I don't know why I forgot about the Cardinals, but they could definitely win the division too. So they've been playing lights out, and Kyler Murray looks like a top-tier MVP candidate.
We'll get to that with when we get to that 49ers Cardinals game. But do we have anything more to add to the Rams versus Seahawks?
No, I don't think so. Just basically Wilson's injured, the Seahawks are screwed. So yeah.
Okay, moving on. We had the best game of the week by far, the Jets at the Falcons in London. Why do I feel like we just dumped the shittiest games on London? Because next week, there's another game in London next week, and I can't remember what both teams are, but I know one of them is Jacksonville. So
that's like their second home, the London Jaguars.
Basically, I don't know what London's obsession with the Jaguars is, but they can have them because they're so shit that we don't want. It's kind of an insult to call them a professional sports team here. So if London wants them, they can go. You can take them. I'd be okay.
Yeah. I thought the goal was to spread the fan base of the NFL, and they're not going to be doing that with the Jets and the Jaguars. What the heck?
I couldn't tell you. They just want to give. I can't think of a time there was a London game where it was actually two good teams. The past how many years?
Yeah. I was just about to say, I feel like there hasn't been. I don't recall one.
We just dump London. We just give England the absolute worst games.
Yeah, I guess. But anyway, I've got one comment, and that's it. The Falcons closed out a game. There we go.
How about that? We didn't think it was possible, but the Falcons got a big lead, and they didn't choke it.
Although they nearly did, it seemed like they were about to.
Yeah, the Jets were making a slight comeback attempt, but in the end, the the Jets' defense is what cost them the game, because the Jets were only down by 3 in the fourth quarter, but they couldn't get the offense off the field, and that's essentially what killed them.
Yeah.
What are our thoughts on Zach Wilson so far?
It's been
His
awful.
base stats are like, well, the only thing I ever remember is TD to INT ratio, and he's got 4 passing touchdowns to 9 picks. Now, I agree that is pretty awful, but I don't know if I want to blame him or the fact that his team is terrible and his offensive line is abysmal.
If there's
Then
one
again-
thing I've learned... Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
go
ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that you should never call somebody a bust if they're on the Jets, because it's usually the Jets' fault. Well, I just want to wait and see, because Sam Darnold has looked really good this year.
Until this week, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, once Zach Wilson gets off of the Jets, then we can judge him. That's my take.
Fair point. Fair point. I don't think that the Jets are one of those teams that cannot have a good quarterback. I don't think they, other than Joe Namath, they've never had a good a great quarterback. But continue, Brett.
Yeah. I was just gonna say on my comments about Zach Wilson, it's just kind of like a perfect storm of just suckiness always for the Jets. Like the rookie quarterback is underwhelming. The team overall is still terrible. So it's just gonna feel like it's always just gonna be that way for the Jets. But I don't know. I still think Wilson could be solid. Like he's got a lot of raw talent, but hopefully the Jets just don't screw him up and he can actually be a decent quarterback. So yeah.
Anything else to add to that game? Okay,
No.
Next we have the Patriots at Texans. I didn't really watch any of this because it wasn't on TV here, but I know that the Texans had a big lead and they blew it.
Unfortunate against the Patriots.
Of course.
It is nice to see the Patriots suck this bad. I know they won, but it's nice to see
them struggle against a horrible team like the Texans.
Yes, exactly. That's all I really got to say, honestly.
Davis Mills didn't look bad. He threw for 3 passing touchdowns. I think over 300 yards, no picks. Is this the Tyrod Taylor effect coming in? Where Tyrod Taylor gets hurt and then it ends up, whoever takes his place ends up being that team's franchise quarterback.
Davis Mills next Justin Herbert, am I hearing?
Yeah, he's rookie of the year.
Anyway, do we just want to move on? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we can move on because I have nothing to add about this game.
Yeah, we didn't really watch this game. This is the only game I had on TV where I was at was the Lions at Vikings. Now, it looked typical, the Vikings beating the crap out of the Lions because the Lions can't do anything right. And then I was just waiting for the game to be, or for the Vikings to finally put the game away so they would switch it to the Bengals and Packers. But because the Vikings are going to do Viking things, their running back fumbled the ball deep in their own territory, which allowed Detroit to score a touchdown and gain a lead with 37 seconds left. But just like against Baltimore, Detroit's secondary completely shat the bed against Kirk Cousins. No offense, but with 37 seconds left, they allowed the Vikings to get into field goal range and kick the game-winning field goal as time expired. Now, I gotta say, I feel really bad for Dan Campbell, the Lions coach, because he seems really passionate about his job, and this is the second time that he came off the field crying or was crying in a press conference because of the way they lost. The first time was when they lost to Baltimore. Which is funny. I want to mention, sorry to interrupt, but I want to mention when they lost to Baltimore, the final score was 19-17. When they lost to Minnesota, the final score was 19-17.
Dude, what's crazy is the Vikings are one of the most unfortunate teams in the NFL, and there is a more unfortunate team within their own division, and it's the Lions. I honestly feel for them. Whenever I meet a Lions fan, it's almost just like, oh, I'm so sorry, that type. Um, and you're
Yeah.
right. I really like their coach. I wish, like, he cried for his players. That's good to see. But anyway, I'm sorry. I hope I don't end up rambling because that was an absolutely pathetic showing from the Minnesota Vikings. What the hell was that? That was
That's
so
the one team they're supposed to kick the shit out of every year.
That was so horrendously awful, and I put it all on Mike Zimmer. I put it all on Mike Zimmer. You've got Justin Jefferson absolutely going off in the first half. And what does he decided? He's like, what should we do with 40 seconds left in the first half and 2 timeouts? Let's not throw it to Justin Jefferson and run twice and run down the clock. And then when asked about it after the game, he goes, I shouldn't have to explain this to you guys. Shouldn't have to explain it. We just did what we wanted to do, and it ended up not working out. What if we would have gotten a couple first downs on the run? Well, he didn't. He ran down the clock. His conservative play calling is getting out of hand. He needs to be fired. He's done. He's done. How do you almost lose to the Lions? Unbelievable. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, I would say the hot seat for Zimmer is definitely would have kept getting hotter if they had lost to the 0-4 Lions, like in heartbreaking fashion. Yeah, that's the main complaint that Vikings fans have had over Zimmer's tenure here is that he plays not to lose. He doesn't play to win. He plays
So he's not
really
aggressive.
conservative.
Is basically what you're saying.
He's
Not aggressive enough.
Yeah, he's not aggressive enough. And we got examples from earlier this year, like the Vikings Cardinals game, where technically they could have gotten closer and closer for that field goal that Joseph ended up missing. I guess the Bengals game, I can't really blame him. The Dalvin just fumbled the ball. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Vikings are just a complete shit show this year and they keep on constantly failing. I wouldn't be surprised if this is Zimmer's last year, but who knows at this point, because Vikings should be a playoff team and all these games have been very tightly and winnable games. They should have a above 500 record right now, but they're sitting at 2-3, barely scraping out a win against the Detroit Lions, the 0-5 Lions. So I don't know. Not a lot of room for optimism, but I guess that's just the life of a Vikings fan. So, yeah.
I'm sorry. I just got to say one more thing. Just what an embarrassment of a team. Now, when asked after the game, what was holding the offense back? Mike Zimmer replies, they're very stout on defense.
The worst secondary or pass defense in the league. They're very stout defense. Okay. Maybe I should be concerned because that's who Cincinnati plays next week.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. You have one of the best receivers in the league in Justin Jefferson. You have a really solid second wide receiver in Adam Thielen. Used to be a Pro Bowler, All-Pro. You have Dalvin Cook, an All-Pro, one of the best running backs in the league. Kirk Cousins has been a Pro Bowler.
He was hurt this week, though.
He was. That's a good point. I got so worked up I forgot Dalvin Cook was hurt.
But Madison doesn't skip a beat though. Madison
until when all he needed to do was hold on to the ball. I know how that feels though. I know how it feels to fumble the ball when all you have to do is run the clock out, because that's exactly what Jeremy Hill did 5 years ago, or almost 6 years ago in a wild card game against the Steelers. But that's for another day.
I wish the Lions would have won. They deserved it. We deserved to lose. We deserved to lose that game.
I'm going to give my take. I think Mike Zimmer will be gone if they do not make the postseason this year. If the Vikings miss the postseason or the playoffs this year, then I highly believe, or I have a strong feeling he's not going to be back next year. Who do you guys want as a replacement? Did you ever think about that?
Bieniemy? What's his name? The Kansas City guy. Yeah,
no,
is he signed?
I want him if they fire Zach Taylor.
Who's ours?
No. I've got a more talented offense than you guys do.
No. What? Hold on.
You might have Dalvin Cook, but we have Jamar. Okay, we're equals. We're about equals.
I mean, here
Dalvin
let's
Cook is
think about
better
it.
than Joe Mixon, but I would say Joe Burrow is slightly better than Kirk Cousins.
Yep,
And
I'd call.
Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase are about on the same level to me.
Hold the phone. Hold the phone.
What? How
Can't
can you
tell me.
disagree with that?
How many games has Jamar Chase played?
You seriously think experience speaks louder than that?
How many games has he played?
You can't say experience is.
I don't know, Jay. Jamar Chase has looked really
See, thank
good.
you, Brett. Experience doesn't mean
Guys,
shit.
hold
Kirk
on.
Cousins has been around for how long? Yet Joe Burrow's about on the same level as him already. You can't say
No.
anything over there, can you?
Wait, let me make my case, okay? I would not be surprised if by next year Jamar Chase is on Justin Jefferson's level. But after 5 weeks in the NFL in which he's looked pretty good, I'm not calling him better than somebody who
I
got
didn't
14.
say he was better than Justin Jefferson. I said he
No,
was his
no.
equal.
No. I'm not calling him equal when he's played 5 games and Justin Jefferson had 1,400 yards last year and made it the All-Pro and Pro Bowl as a rookie. I'm not.
Okay. Here, Joe Burrow
Bro,
has
you got
thrown
it. You got to
what?
back me up here. Like, it's just the
Joe
numbers.
Burrow
And
has thrown what? 11 touchdown passes this year, and half of those are to Jamar Chase.
yes, I bet I could pull up similar stats from last year of
My
Jefferson.
God.
You just got
Fine.
to.
At
It's
the end of
been
the
5
season,
weeks.
I'm gonna be proven right. By the end of the season, I'm gonna be proven right.
Okay,
Unless he gets
you-
hurt. The only way I'm not proven right is if he gets hurt, or if he gets hurt.
No, here's the thing. I wouldn't doubt if he is at that level at the end of the season. But right now, I'm not gonna say he's on the same level as Jefferson.
I don't know. I'm sensing bias there.
What?
Well, there's
I'm
multiple
sensing
biases
bias
that
there.
could be.
Hold on, dude.
See,
if
Brett agrees with
anybody,
me. You're outnumbered 2 to
No.
3 or 2 to 1.
how can you disagree with me?
No, you're outnumbered. It doesn't matter. The jury has
No,
spoken.
well, obviously, me and Jay could be biased towards Jefferson and the Vikings. You could be biased towards Chase and the Bengals. But I mean, I'm not saying, obviously, and Thomas wasn't saying that Chase is better than Jefferson. But it's fine to say, I think, that they're similar because Chase has really looked good. Like, even though what we thought of him in the preseason, like 5 targets, 1 reception.
Mhm.
This regular season, he's just popping off. He had
Did you see that
6.
catch he had in overtime against Green Bay? I thought he was out of bounds, but
Yeah,
I'm trying to
but
think of a
6.
parallel here. Okay,
let's move on. Let's move on. We're wasting too much time on this. Next, we had the Eagles at Panthers. Carolina, what the fuck was that? I mean, you had mentioned, Jay, on Sunday that Philadelphia has a good defense.
Wait, did I say that?
I remember you said something, or maybe somebody said something like
I
that.
think I said Carolina has a good defense.
What? How the hell were the Panthers held to only 18 points then? Against the team that gave up 41 points to the Cowboys the week before.
Yeah, I
Or
don't
was
really
it 2
know.
weeks before? It was 2
I
weeks
think
before.
Darnold kinda played bad.
Darnold looked like he did with. Darnold played like he was still playing with the Jets. 1 touchdown and 3 picks. I don't even think he had 200 yards passing, but I can't remember. He looked terrible either way. Against the Eagles? And the
Against the
Carolina's
Eagles.
defense was the only reason they were fending them off for so long. Because it's not like Jalen Hurts or Philadelphia's offense is going to light them up, but the fact that Carolina looked like absolute shit, I think it proves that they're fool's gold. They started out 3-0 playing bad teams. They got exposed when they had to play a real team in Dallas, which, I mean, that could be kind of gray area calling Dallas a real team, but they played the
probably
Eagles. The Eagles? The fucking Eagles at home? And you play like that?
So what you're telling
Yeah.
me is you're 5 weeks into the season, you're not willing to call the Cowboys a good team yet?
I mean, I would say they're decent,
Brett
but
gets it.
they haven't completely proven themselves yet. They have to
Okay.
beat. Who have they beaten so far? I guess they did beat the Chargers. I guess, okay, yeah. They beat the Chargers, but other than that, they beat the Giants, the Panthers, we already mentioned their fool's gold. Who was their other win to? I'm trying to remember.
I don't remember.
The
I
Eagles,
guess I
that's
could
right,
look
the
it up.
Eagles.
Oh,
They
yeah.
kicked the shit out of the Eagles on Monday night a couple weeks ago. But they're the Eagles. I don't know. I did see Dallas. Watching Dallas through the years, I never get their trust fully because even if they end up going like 13-4 this year, they always have an act for losing the first playoff game they play in. So I don't know. I'm just not sold on them.
Mhm.
Not until they get to
Yeah.
the NFC Championship will I be sold on them.
But I guess about this Eagles-Panthers game, I guess, obviously McCaffrey's still injured, and he's the entire Panthers offense when he's out there healthy. So he's a game changer when he's on the field. But again, yeah, I think in general I'm in agreement that the Panthers are fool's gold, and that Darnold is probably not good enough to make them a playoff level team. So yeah.
Okay. Anything else to add on that game?
Mm.
Nope.
Okay. Next we have the Saints at the Washington football team. I didn't really see much. I just know that for whatever reason, Washington is severely making me regret picking their defense in fantasy football. Considering last year they were one of the best defenses in the league, and now they're just complete dog shit, giving up 33 points and a Hail Mary touchdown to none other than famous Jameis.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I've learned in fantasy is that like defenses just switch every single year. Like I remember that one year the Patriots were just dominant on defense. The next year they were barely even a starting caliber defense for fantasy. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't really care about this game honestly, so I don't
Yeah,
really
I
have
didn't
much.
see that much. Brett, you got anything to say about this one?
No, not really. Got nothing to add.
Okay. I don't really have anything to say about this next game. It's the Titans at Jaguars. The
Yeah.
Derrick
Titans,
Henry beat the
the,
Jaguars by himself.
the Jags suck. The Jags are one of the worst teams in the league, so the Titans were basically handed a free win.
The
Even
Tennessee
though,
Derrick Henrys beat the Jaguars.
I'm going to be honest, Tennessee has not looked all that impressive either.
No.
But they're probably going to win that division just because it's so bad. Because the Colts are crap, and then the Texans and the Jaguars are just that, the Texans and the Jaguars. Okay, moving
Yeah.
on. The Dolphins at the Buccaneers.
Much to say
Now,
about that either.
well, I wanted to say that I know the Dolphins are without Tua. I mean, honestly, I don't think that means that much because I don't think Tua's that great. I thought the Dolphins were supposed to be good this year. They were supposed to build off of their overachieving from last year. And
Yeah.
what the fuck is wrong with their defense? I mean, I know it wasn't great last year, but they're just getting walked on by every opponent they play now.
Yeah, I expected them to be much better. I remember a few weeks ago when they played the Bills, I actually predicted they'd beat the Bills. I was confident in them, but
I did too. Week 2, when they played Buffalo in Miami, I thought Miami had a good shot at winning that game.
got slaughtered. They've been a disappointment
Yep.
for
To say the least, they've been a disappointment.
Hmm.
Okay, next up is the Broncos at Steelers.
You're just gonna go over that.
I was gonna
We'll
say, I
save
was
it for
waiting for you to
last.
say, yeah, I don't have anything to say about that either. The Steelers, big old Captain Fat Fuck Ben Roethlisberger looked like he was in 2009 form because he was throwing deep passes all game long. Now,
Mm.
last I checked, I thought, isn't this Broncos secondary supposed to be good? Because they got Will Fuller from the Bears, who's a pretty decent corner, and they drafted Patrick Surtain, their first round pick. So, what the hell's up with them?
Wait, Will Fuller?
Or Will Fuller, my bad.
What's his
I can't
name?
remember his name now. Fuller. I know his last name's Fuller.
Is it Kendall
you-
Fuller? Or
No.
that's another guy. He's on the football team.
Fuller, he was with the Bears last year, but the Bears cut him due to cap restraints.
Let me look it up. Broncos Fuller.
Kyle Fuller?
Kyle Fuller?
I mean,
No, I don't
Oh,
think
yeah.
so.
I think it's Kyle Fuller. Yeah, he played for the
It's-
Bears last year.
Okay, that's
yeah.
him.
Will
Was a
Fuller
pretty
is the
decent
wide
corner.
receiver.
Yeah, that I remember that. I don't know
But
what I don't know what their issue is.
Yeah.
That
I
and
mean,
Sorry, go ahead, Brent.
it's just kind of like the Panthers. They're just fool's gold probably as well.
they beat two
I
New
don't think
York
any of us
teams and the Jaguars. What such tough opponents.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shouldn't be giving up 27
and
points.
as much as I love, yeah, as much as I do love Teddy Bridgewater, he's obviously
He's a check down
probably
machine.
he's not capable of being a playoff level quarterback.
He's the second coming of Joe Flacco.
I mean, Flacco's got a ring. It'd be great if
I mean, I
Bridgewater could
guess, but
he had that magical year, and then he got paid, and then he sucked. So
Checked
yeah,
out.
but hmm yeah, I got nothing to add about this game. So
all right. I've been dreading this since we started the fucking podcast. The last noon or 12 o'clock game for us was the Packers at Bengals. Part of me is glad this wasn't on TV, but I still got fucked because they ended up playing it after the Vikings game got over. So I got to watch my team drive down into field goal range in overtime and watch Evan McPherson miss what was a pretty easy field goal. That game was just the football gods being as cruel as they possibly could. Constantly giving you false hope that your team's going to pull off an upset against what is supposed to be a Super Bowl contender in the Packers. And to just have that hope ripped, like literally ripped right out of my fucking heart repeatedly and just have it crushed was so incredibly painful to witness that. And it does not help that I'm constantly being reminded of it. And I'm reminding myself of it because I have to do this damn episode. So I guess I'm partially a masochist for doing this. But let's get into it. Packers at Bengals. The Packers looked like crap at the start. I mean, so did the Bengals because the Bengals can't apparently do anything for the entire first quarter in any game they play in. The Packers, both teams traded points. The Packers looked like they were going to run away with it, but Cincinnati kept hanging around in there, and they were able to tie it. And then that's when the craziness started. The Packers were going down the field, and they were basically set up to kick a chip shot field goal with a little over 2 minutes left, and Crosby missed it. I have no idea how much hope that gave me to watch Cincinnati proceed to drive the ball down the field, and then Evan McPherson doinked it off the upright. Now, a lot of people have criticized Zach Taylor for that play call because that was a 56, 57-yard field goal with 20 seconds left. So if you miss that, then the Packers get the ball back with like 20 seconds left, and you don't want to give Aaron Rodgers any time, as seen when he played the 49ers. Anyway, they do actually go down the field. They do go down the field, and Crosby misses it again. So we're going overtime. Cincinnati wins the coin toss, made me shout for joy. And the first thing that happens is Joe Burrow throws a terrible interception to one of the Green Bay's linebackers. And I mean, it was terrible. There wasn't really a wide receiver in the area. I don't know what he was thinking. This kind of leads into my concern that I wonder if Joe Burrow is actually declining. Now, that's kind of a hot take, but I wonder if his stats are already kind of worse than they were last year. And I wonder if he's declining because he's not comfortable in the pocket anymore because of how often he's getting hit.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. He throws that awful interception, so the Packers have it like inside Cincinnati's 30. Mason Crosby misses another field goal. Like, wow. Am I just giving... Like, they're trying to give you the fucking win, Cincy. So, Cincinnati proceeds to drive down the field. Jamar Chase makes one of the best catches I've seen all year. They get it down inside of Green Bay's 35, and they line up to kick a 49-yard field goal, which that's pretty makeable by today's standards to me. And he hooks it left. I mean, it literally touches the flag that
He thought it was in.
being...
He was celebrating.
Yeah, he was celebrating. He thought it was in.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I'm just like, just fucking lose already. I don't want to watch this anymore. And Cincinnati or Green Bay proceeds to drive down the field. And this time, Crosby didn't miss. Part of me wanted him to miss again. And the other part of me was like, just make it already so I don't have to watch this anymore. And that is how Cincinnati blew a golden opportunity to make a golden opportunity of making a statement by beating the Packers. And words cannot describe how much pain that caused me.
Yeah, that was one of the most painful losses I've seen to date. And it's even more painful when you think about the fact that the Bengals could easily be undefeated right now. Like they
lost. I don't know how they lost to the fucking Bears.
Yeah.
But even then, I knew they were going to lose that game because they were down by 17, like in the fourth quarter. So them coming back was like a massive long shot. That wasn't the case against Green Bay, though. They convinced me. They actually made me think that they were going to win the game, which is very hard to do, considering how much we lose.
Yeah. You know, let me try to raise your spirits a little, Tom. Here's what I'll say. The Bengals are like a legit team in my eyes right now.
You say that, and now they're gonna lose to the fucking Lions on Sunday. I would be so pissed if they did that.
And you know, the thing is though, they're a legit team in the same way that I consider the Vikings a legit team. So
they have that in them. You know that.
Yeah.
Minnesota, despite being 2-3, like they have it in them. You just have that feeling that the team has it in them to be great or be good at least. But they just, it's like saying there's a good team in there somewhere. They're just that. They have unlimited potential, but if you don't take advantage or express that potential, then it doesn't mean anything.
I think the main problem for both the Vikings and the Bengals is probably coaching right now.
Yeah, I was not a fan of Zach Taylor's play call. I disagree with trying a 57-yard field goal with that much time left. I mean, it was fourth down, but it was only like 4th and 1. I personally, considering I knew he was going to miss from that distance, they should have just snuck it or did anything to get more yards instead of trying a 56-yard field goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys got any more to add about this? I really don't want to talk about this game anymore.
No, I don't. I know me and Jay can sympathize with you being Vikings
now
fans.
I know how you guys felt after they lost the way they lost to Arizona week 2. They literally had the game won. And found a way to fuck it up.
I guess, except the difference is both me and Jay literally felt nothing after that Cardinals game because we're just we're numb to it at this point. So we just expect it to happen. But yeah.
I will
I
say,
got
I
nothing
will
else.
go on to say, I think this is Cincinnati's worst or most heartbreaking defeat since that wild card game against the Steelers in 2016.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
when you literally have the game won and you find a way to fuck it up, it's like what do you want me to do?
the thing is, like, I can remember when I did still feel something when the Vikings did something like this, and so I can definitely sympathize with you because I remember it all too well.
Mm, yeah.
Okay, moving on, we have the Chicago Bears at the Las Vegas Raiders. This game was on TV for me, and it was a snooze fest. The Raiders looked like shit, just like they did last week. The Bears did the bare minimum,
Ha, nice.
but
Haha.
it's okay. I'll kill myself for making that joke later. Uh,
Thank God.
the Bears did the bare minimum, and it was a football game. It was very boring to watch. Justin Fields didn't look great. He looked more like a game manager, but sometimes rookies look like that. I don't
Yeah,
know. I just
so
don't have much to say about this.
the Raiders, I think, are pretty much screwed. Like
They're
they look,
fucked, yeah. I don't think anybody, even the most optimistic Raiders fan, is going to think that they're somehow not fucked. They're completely fucked.
Oh
yeah, I
yeah,
mean, they
for
look
sure.
terrible against the crappy Bears. Their coach resigned. I don't know. They're just bad.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's just I can't imagine as much as I preach about how painful that loss was for Cincinnati. I can't imagine being a Raiders fan right now, considering you started out 3-0 and
Hmm.
you, having all the optimism in the world, and then just to not only lose your next two in embarrassing fashion, then to lose your coach.
What
I
a fall
can't
from grace.
imagine the pain that the Raiders fans have to be going through right now.
Yeah.
But I don't really have anything else to say about that game. So I'm just gonna go on to the next
Yeah.
one.
Neither.
The Browns at Chargers. Whew, what a game that was. And to think I was stuck watching the Bears at Raiders when I could have been watching that instead.
uh, good
Absolute
old fashioned.
shootout. Absolute
Yeah.
shootout.
No defense whatsoever.
I kind of
Just.
expected the Browns to win, considering the Chargers can never seem to win at home.
Hmm.
But the Browns did have their chance because they were up by one because the Chargers kicker missed the extra point. All they had to do really was get a single first down to run the clock out, and I guess that was asking too much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody expected to shoot out in this game. I certainly didn't. Um,
I could
all
see
I
there
know,
being points, but not 47-42. Why couldn't
yeah,
I was talking to my dad on the phone last night, and he said something like, "Why couldn't that have been the score of the Browns game last week, the one we went to see?"
yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding. That would have been awesome.
Instead, we
Would have been
got
awesome.
stuck with 14-7, the fucking snooze fest.
Yeah, I guess
Hmm.
I'll add one more thing before letting Brett make his point. Justin Herbert is an absolute beast, and
No
I think
doubt.
it's going to be really fun to see him and Mahomes go at it through the years, and I'm sure Kansas City will pull it together, so we'll be able to see them go at it.
You want to know something sad is I don't want the Chargers to win the division just because they seem to play better when they're on the road and not at SoFi Stadium. I mean, this was at SoFi Stadium, yeah, but considering the Chargers don't really have a home fan base,
Hmm.
yeah, I was kind of hoping someone else would win the division and the Chargers would be a wild card, but at this point, that doesn't look to be the case unless the Chiefs get their shit together, but I don't know. It just ain't looking like it.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Brett?
Yeah, it was I was just gonna say that it was a good old fashioned shootout. It was pretty kind of cool, or it's kind of interesting. Like the Chargers, when they got that last touchdown they scored, the Browns were basically helping Eckler get into the end zone so they can score right away. So
So
they
they
would have
couldn't
time
kick
on
the
the
field
clock.
goal. Yeah.
Yeah, so they would try to go back down the field and try to score. But
Alas,
yeah,
there was not enough time.
yeah, but That's all I gotta add. But I guess I will also add one more thing. That the Chargers are looking really good. Really liking Herbert and Eckler. The wide receiver duo they got is really good. So the whatever Charger fans are out there,
Like all 8 of them,
this
or that's too polite. All
yeah
6 of them.
yeah. It's a shame they don't have a fan base like they did in like San Diego, but they're in
Fuck you,
LA. So, but
Spanos.
that's
I know I'm not
yeah,
urinating tree, but fuck you, Spanos.
yeah. It's the owner's fault. It's a shame. But yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Okay. Giants at Cowboys. I think this is the game you said you were stuck watching, Jay.
Yes, I had this game.
It was exactly how you'd predict it to be. The Cowboys kicked the shit out of the Giants. Man, I feel I gotta really you gotta feel bad for Giants fans. Like year in and year out, they're just terrible. And then
Yeah,
Yeah,
this year they start out 0-3. And this week they lose Danny Derp, Saquon Barkley, and Kenny Galladay.
and
It's like,
Kadarius Toney.
yeah, that's right. Kadarius Toney got hurt too. It's like, what the hell did the Giants do to offend the football gods so badly? Did they just use up all of their luck against beating the Patriots twice? Because they haven't done jack shit since.
yeah. I mean, it's probably you could maybe say it's karma. Isn't it like the Giants GM, like Gettleman? He's
Dave
like a
Gettleman,
terrible
yeah, the
GM,
guy who doesn't know how to
and
draft a first-round pick.
yeah. So yeah, might be a little. It's self-inflicted, but I do kind of feel bad for Giants fans. So
I'm sure Giants fans hate Dave Gettleman more than anybody.
yeah, I'm sure.
Um, and then
Yeah,
the
I guess
Cowboys
like
look
that
good,
Cowboys
but
look good.
the Cowboys look good,
Yeah,
but they're playing the Giants. You better look
Yeah,
good if you're playing the Giants.
yeah.
Okay. Next, we got the 49ers at the Cardinals. I had this game, but I did not watch a lot of it. The Cardinals weren't able to score much. I actually thought the Cardinals were going to lose this before the game started just because of how inconsistent they are. And one of their weaknesses seems to be the 49ers. So
hmm
I guess I can't say I was
yeah,
too surprised to see them win. Trey Lance got his first start. Didn't look that good, but it's probably too soon to like make a fair judgment. So I'll let that game slide for him.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, all I really have to say about it is, I mean, the Cardinals look really good this year, but like you say, their weakness is the Niners, but not
That and the
quite
just
big enough of
lack of consistency. Kind of like last year. Last year they would have really great games, and then the next week they'd be losing to like the Cam Newton led Patriots. It's just they haven't
Mhm.
lost yet, but I feel like that's gonna come back to or come and get them at some point. I don't. They do play at the Browns this week, so that should be interesting. I don't think they're
hmm
gonna stay undefeated after this week, but that's my take. Moving on, we have the Bills at Chiefs. The Chiefs look like dog shit. They had to play a real, actual contender in the Bills,
Right.
and the Bills walked all over them. This is, to say the least, is not characteristic of the Chiefs at all.
hmm
Under Andy Reid, they have never had a losing season. And I'm not sure I can say that it's going to hold up this year because they look so bad. Even against teams that they're better than, they give up so many points per game. They were saying in the Sunday night game when I was watching it that Kansas City has given up like nearly 30 points per game every week so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like their
And
defense
the thing
completely
is,
has fallen off a cliff. And there hasn't been any major changes other than trading Brashad Breeland for Hughes with the Vikings. They still have
yeah,
Tyrann Mathieu and Daniel Sorensen. I just don't know what the hell their issue is.
Yeah, it's interesting too because like Patrick Mahomes had a 70.9 QBR against the Bills, and he has an overall of 106 on the season, which is much lower than usual. He has a 16-6 touchdown interception ratio,
Holy shit, he had
which
6 interceptions all last year, and he's already at
yeah,
6 through 5 games? God damn, that's awful. I mean,
yeah,
Yeah,
Joe
it's really
Burrow's
bad.
thrown 6 picks, but Joe Burrow and Pat Mahomes are not on the same level.
Yeah. So, and the Chiefs have just looked bad overall. So I'll finish with that.
Great. So I paid $220 per ticket to go see them play the Cowboys and watch the Cowboys completely kick their ass. Kansas City, you better find some consistency by week 11, or else I'm going to be really pissed that I spent that much money to watch a crap team get their ass kicked. I was expecting a game of the ages.
yeah. The biggest weakness, the Chiefs, they just are struggling so bad with turnovers, whether it's Mahomes throwing those interceptions or just ball security. Just like they cannot hang on to the football, and yeah, their front seven, they're not really creating pressure or getting that many sacks. Their secondaries look bad, so they just gotta find some sort of rhythm and get their shit together. But yeah, it's not looking great for the start of the season for them. So
Okay. We didn't really talk about the Bills that much. I mean, they look good. They look pretty
They
damn
look
good.
good.
I could see them
oh
being the
yeah,
number one seed in the playoffs later in the year.
Me too.
yeah. Do you think Josh Allen is a current front runner for MVP right now?
I don't make projections like that, but I guess I definitely wouldn't be surprised if he was.
Yeah, I
I'd
think he
probably
would.
go Tyler right now, personally.
Kyler?
Yeah.
He's kind of like the Cardinals in general. He's kind of wishy-washy. So I don't know if I go that far, but it's your opinion.
I think it's probably Josh Allen, right, in my opinion, right now. So
I wouldn't be surprised if he won it. Okay, we'll wrap this up, or wrap up week 5 with the Colts at Ravens. This game really pissed me off because not only was it not a great week because the Steelers won, but the fucking Ravens, or the Colts blew a 19-point lead to the Ravens. And I'm gonna get people calling me a Lamar hater. I don't really care. Wow, yeah, he got 400 passing yards against a backup secondary. Wow, so great. Let's see how you play in January.
Yeah, the thing is with Lamar, he's been inconsistent for his whole career. I do like him as a player. He had a really good MVP season, but I will give you that he's inconsistent. He still can't really throw the ball, and I know everybody is really
But he
subject to
threw
recent.
for 400 yards.
Yeah,
I'm sure
that's the
Michael
thing.
Vick had a 400-yard game.
Yeah, people are very subject to recency bias with Lamar. Like we watched him against the Raiders, he missed a bunch of open receivers. So I think that's still a weakness. And
He
if
didn't
if
even play
teams
good
shut
against the
down,
Lions, if I remember correctly, like passing
yeah.
wise.
But if my opinion on Lamar is that he still needs to work on his passing despite what we've seen recently, but he's still obviously an elite quarterback, and so I'm not going to hate too much on him. And he did have a really good performance this week, so I'll give him props for that.
yeah, I guess I'm in the same boat with you, Jay. With everything you basically said, so I don't have anything to really add on to that. So
Cut moment. Okay, this is the problem. We just don't really have enough stuff to go off of because a lot of this episode has been I don't really have anything, or is either been I don't have much to add or I agree with what you said.
That's
yeah,
fine.
because I literally don't watch any of the games because I'm just too busy. So I
You're at
like
work.
kind of
You're
watch
at work.
because I like watch highlights. If I don't watch highlights, I just look at the stats and we do the podcasts and I just make general assumptions and opinions about the teams. So
I think
again,
we should
Jay. Oh,
give,
sorry.
like
What?
we should give a quick like bang 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 predictions for the next week.
Damn it, Jay. I was just about to say I don't really want to do predictions. I'm just
Do it
not
quick.
feeling it.
It'll take like 5 minutes.
Fine. Okay, get ready to come back from break.
Okay.
All right, so with week 5 wrapped up, we are going to do very, very lightning fast predictions. Starting with the game on Thursday, the Buccaneers at the Eagles. Brett, who do you got winning?
Buccaneers.
Bucks.
Oh, I'm shocked. No, I'm not. Bucks are going to kick their asses without any doubt.
Yep.
Dolphins at Jaguars. That's the next London game. Good God.
Uh,
What do we
that's
have
it.
against the English or the Brits? Like, why
They
the
get-
fuck are we just giving them the most dog shit teams or dog shit games possible?
They get Tua back, so I'm going with Dolphins.
Dolphins either way. Even if the Dolphins don't have Tua, I'm giving it to the Dolphins. The Dolphins could win with Reed Sinnett, if you even remember who that is.
I don't know who that
He
is.
was the third string who beat the Bengals in that preseason game.
Oh, okay. I'm actually gonna go with. It's surprising. I'm gonna go with the Jaguars. I think they somehow win in London. Don't they have a winning record in London since we started doing this?
Oh
They might.
yeah, because that means everything, doesn't it?
It does. And Urban Meyer, he's such a great head coach. He'll pull the team together.
Yeah,
and they'll
he'll get
win.
his team to grind it out.
Yeah, they'll grind it out.
It's okay.
Yeah,
I got a noose waiting over here.
That's 2 good puns this entire episode.
Vikings at Panthers. I'm gonna go with the Vikings just because they're both inconsistent teams. I don't know. I'm just gonna take the Vikings over this.
Okay, here's my reasoning. They're both teams coming off of a poor performance last week, but the Panthers get Christian McCaffrey back, so I'm going with.
They do. Okay,
Yeah.
that might be an issue. I'm still going with the Panthers. Brett or Vikings. God.
Yeah, I don't know. They're like Jay said, inconsistency, but I think the Vikings, they should be able to still win this game even with C-Mac coming back potentially. So I got the Vikings.
Okay. Chargers at Ravens. I'm going Chargers.
Chargers.
Partially just because I want to see the Ravens lose.
Chargers.
And partially because fuck you, Ravens. So I'm going with the Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers.
They're a powerhouse right now.
Ooh, this is a really tough one. The LA Rams at the New York Giants.
Rams.
What? I'm so shocked at this decision you've made.
That
Rams
is a
all the
tough
way,
one.
without a doubt. Considering the Giants don't even have their starters, Rams are going to kick their asses.
Yeah, it's Rams all the way, like you said. Yeah.
Ooh, such an interesting game. The Texans at the Colts. I'm going to go with the Colts just because the Texans are the worst team.
Texans are too bad, so yeah, Colts.
Yeah, I'd probably say the same. I think Tyrod could come back this week, maybe. But
I
even
did
if
read
he
into that. I
does,
don't think he is, but
oh, okay. So yeah, even if he was, I'd probably still think the Colts because they should still win this game. So
to think just 2 years ago that was like that game would determine who was winning the AFC South.
yeah.
Okay, the Chiefs at the Washington football team. As much as the Chiefs have struggled, considering how bad Washington's defense has become, I think the Chiefs are going to win that, but not without giving up like 28 points.
I mean, the Chiefs have got to win this one, right?
They better. If they lose this, I think you can just throw the season away.
So yeah, I'm going Chiefs. I wouldn't be surprised though if Washington won. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah, I'll say Chiefs too, but I also wouldn't be shocked as well if Washington wins. So
okay, Packers at Bears. I really want to see the Bears win this because I'm not happy that the Packers won last week. But I don't see the Bears beating the Packers.
You know what? Risky prediction this week. I'm going Bears.
Dang.
Off
Dang.
of the Raiders win. I know the Raiders look terrible, but yeah, I think after that
You think
emotional
Justin
victory
Fields
for
gonna ball
Packers,
it out against the Packers?
I just think that the Packers coming off of an emotional win and the Bears coming off of a good W against the Raiders. I'm going with the Bears.
I got the Packers. I don't think the
Yeah,
Bears will win. So
Okay. Bengals at Lions.
Bengals.
yeah, Bengals. They should win that game. If they don't, I don't know.
Keyword is should. I'm going with the Lions just because either Cincinnati is going to get complacent like they did against Jacksonville, or they're going to be checked out after losing that close game. And they're going to somehow make the Detroit Lions look like a competent team. Because that loss against Green Bay last week, I feel, is just like a loss that you don't recover from.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just being really pessimistic. Who knows? Cardinals at Browns. I want to say Browns just because it's in Cleveland and not Arizona. I'm probably going to go with the Browns just because it's in Cleveland and not Arizona.
Yeah, I agree. The Browns had a really good offensive display last week, and the Cardinals didn't do that well. And they're at home, so yeah, the Browns.
Yeah, I'll take the Browns too. I think they'll win. Yeah.
Okay, Cowboys at Patriots. The Cowboys want to prove themselves as a contender or at least a consistent team. They better beat the Patriots in Foxborough, or even if it's in Foxborough. So I'm going with the Cowboys.
Me too.
Yeah, I got the Cowboys.
Okay, Seahawks at Steelers. Steelers, as much as I hate to say it, because I don't see Geno Smith winning in Pittsburgh, even if it's Pittsburgh's offense they're facing.
Yeah, Wilson is their team, so Steelers.
Yeah, Steelers should win that game.
And the last but not least, the Bills at the Titans. I'm going with the Bills just because the Bills are far more consistent than the Titans are thus far.
I'm going Bills as well. They've looked really good. Titans have been kind of bad.
All
Yeah,
right.
I got the Bills as well. Titans
They
lost to the Jets, so
missed Raiders and Broncos.
Oh, I'm fucking stupid. Raiders at Broncos. Even though the Raiders just, even though the Raiders are still like better talent wise, I think just because of what happened this past week, I think the Broncos are going to win that.
The Broncos should win. The Raiders are down. Kick them
The
while they're
Raiders
down.
are like in like as low as you can go, even if they're more talented than the Broncos. Just after all that's transpired this past week, I don't see the Raiders winning after all that happening.
Yep, I'm going Broncos.
yeah, I got the Broncos. The Raiders are just in a low spot, so they don't stand a chance probably.
Okay, that is it for our Week 6 predictions, and that is most likely also it for this episode of JTB Sports. This one is a little shorter. Cut moment. I had a brain fart. Okay, back in 3, 2, 1. But yeah, that's it for this episode of JTB Sports. Tune in next week for our recap of Week 6. We will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Peace out.